$300 to see balls. Hey everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to get started working on yet another MacBook. Here we have an A1466. Let's figure out what's wrong with it and see if we can make it work again. Clean off this MacBook. This person's password is seriously hippity-hoppity abolish private property. I'm going to guess that this customer lives in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Let's see. Cambridge, Massachusetts. Cambridge, Massachusetts. Let's see. Out of sheer curiosity. Holy shit, I wasn't far off. Okay, Somerville. They must commute to Cambridge for work. Wow. Commie. Interesting choice in computer for a commie, but whatever. Could have bought a Linote. Always could have got a Linote. Well, we're not prejudiced here. World. Anyway, let's go back to this. Are we installing 5G antennas on these MacBooks yet? You know, I think that would be fun. I kind of wonder if I did that and I sent them out, how long would it be until I had someone try to knock down the store like they do the towers? That would be incredibly fun. I think that would be actually an amazing troll. I kind of want to stop what I'm doing to set that up. Okay. 5G made the virus. I don't believe that's true. Okay. $700 milliamps. $5G does not cause COVID. 5G causes your phone battery to die quicker. When your phone battery dies quicker, you are stressed because you don't have your phone. When you are stressed, your immune system works worse. When your immune system works worse, you contract COVID-19. COVID is caused by 5G. COVID took your job. 8.5 volts, so we're not boosting. COVID took your frickin' job. Okay. Let's take a look at this board under the microscope. All right, now as you can see, there is a teeny tiny bit of corrosion on the top of this LP8550. And watch this. I can now zoom in all the way with my new toy, fancy schmancy microscope light. Here, I'll show you. Isn't this cool? Watch this. You can see all the way under the chip now. Look at that. That's detail. I don't know if it was worth paying $310 for a light, but that's detail. That's cool. You can see how the ball dissolved and everything. There we go. $300 to see balls. There's cheaper porn out there. So we're going to replace this chip. This is a CD3215. Wait, no. This is an LP8550. God, I'm stuck in touch bar mode. This is not a CD3215. Do not put a CD3215 here. This board does have a CD32, I believe CD3211 right over here. So I got a little confused. I saw that in the corner. 5G causes meteorite strikes. What? Wow, it looks like there was a little bit of food under there. Did you see that? It looks like food under there. COVID causes 5G, says Matthias. What? That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I'm going to get myself an LP8550 from store.rossmangroup.com. Be right back. Fuck you, open broadcaster. Drivers have nothing to do with it, just an OBS bug. You go to hell and you die, Jay Kurtz. Alright, let's see if we have a backlight on this beautiful, 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 beautiful MacBook. I'm debating whether or not I've earned a burrito today. I had to reinstall my whole system from scratch and deal with the city fine of $5K. Do I deserve a burrito? Have I earned a burrito? Maybe, maybe not. I haven't had a burrito in a while. Kind of debating it. Trying to lose weight, get in better shape. A burrito would make me happy, but I shouldn't be the type of person that is made happy by food that's not healthy. So I am going to punch this thing if I don't see a question mark. Fold a question mark folder! Look at that. Easy, no backlight. You jealous, Paul? I know. Paul's jealous. Paul's jealous. Hey, I picked this one at random. You should see the last no backlight I had. So what I did here is I replaced the backlight driver chip, which you can get at store.rossmangroup.com. That's it for today, and as always, I hope that you learned something. Elon launched a Tesla factory today against law and started production. Info from his Twitter. 200 Tesla are produced already, says one employee. He says, arrest me first. So is this a bold move, or... I mean, somebody's got to do it. The problem is that... Here's my worry, and it's something that I discussed in a video that I have to edit and upload. I don't know what any of these states' plan is for actual lockdown reopening. here's the thing. If they said, listen, we need hospital occupancy. Right now, hospital occupancy is like 110, 120%. We need to go back to 70. If once we see 75% hospital occupancy, we can test 50,000 people a day, and we see that mortality rate is under 2%. Then we will reopen. We will have as a deadline to make this decision May 15th. If that's not happened by May 15th, then lockdown continues until May 30th. On May 30th, then we will revisit, and then we will see. And if it is not done, then we revisit on June 15th, and so on and so forth. I think you get people that were willing to go ahead with a lockdown. The problem is that there's no real metric for reopening. It's not like once we hit this point, then we will reopen. Because I get it. You can't come up with a day as to when you're going to reopen. That's fine. I understand. You don't have enough data. You didn't make the virus. You don't know how it's going to go. How could you say we reopen on this date? You can't do that. But what you can do is you can come up with the metrics that you're going to use to figure out if you're going to make the decision to reopen or not. At least come out with the metrics and say, on this day, we will look at the data. If the data says X, we do phase 1. If the data says Z, we don't do phase 1. And then after you do phase 1, then you look at the data again. If the data says this, we do that. But they don't have any of that. We have this silliness of, if we save one human life, then it's worth it. It's like, we don't, that's not how we do anything. We don't do anything like that. Just look at the bike rides that I do with the fucking crazy ass Uber drivers that almost hit me on a regular basis. We don't make decisions based on one human life. We make decisions based on the aggregate. What is best overall for 380 million people, not what's best for one person. Now, I'm not trying to be callous, but I'm saying you come up with something. We may disagree on numbers. You may say you want hospital capacity to go down to this. You may say that you want to be able to test this many people a day. Come up with whatever metrics you want and say that once we have reached these, then we will consider reopening. And say that this is the deadline that we have to reach those metrics by. Or say this is the date at which we will make a decision. We don't even have that. We don't even have that. So the reason that people are getting antsy and uppity about it is you're ruining their lives. You're clearly ruining their lives. You're ruining businesses. You're ruining what people spend 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 years building from nothing that you're not going to compensate them for properly. And you're not even saying we're in this together to accomplish this set goal. You're ruining everything and saying we'll see as we go what happens, but don't you criticize us because then you don't care about life. And that's what pisses me off. Because the thing, it's kind of like if the one person had this good tweet, and I'm sorry that I can't credit them. I forgot their name. Somebody will be able to credit them for this. I didn't come up with this. Is that, you know, when you're waiting for the train, even if it says train coming in 25 or 39 minutes, you're okay sitting there in the cold with, you know, the bums that are fighting, you know, like a few yards from you, and the kids screaming, and the fact that it's like 27 degrees outside. You'll sit there for 39 minutes as long as you see that little thing that keeps ticking each minute away and telling you the train is coming. But if you don't know that the train is coming, then you say, fuck this, I'm not waiting for this. I'm not playing along anymore. You need to know what the progress of something is, or at the very least, you need to know what it is you're working for together. If you're waiting for a bus and you've been waiting for 20 minutes and it doesn't show up and you have no sign whatsoever if it's going to come or not, you're going to be much more anxious than you are if you know it's coming and you got that little indication. And what's pissing people off here is that we don't know what metrics they're using to make these decisions. We don't know what I do with business is very simple. What I do is, regardless of how miserable something is, I draw out a little tree for myself and I say, if this happens, I do this. If that happens, I do that. I will know by this date what decision I make. We can argue until we're blue in the face what the date should be. We can argue until we're blue in the face what it is we should actually do. But the one thing that is easy to agree on is that once we have it set down, we will make the decision at this date, this way or that way, based on data. We can argue over what the little pieces of data are. We can argue over what we do. But one thing that everyone is clear on is on this date, we are going to do something. And what's pissing people off with the lockdown, rightfully so, is there's none of that. And I'm one of those people that does care. I'm like, everybody here thinks that I'm ridiculous. Everybody here thinks that I have OCD because I am cleaning things like a madman every time someone walks in, I have this gigantic, freaking loud, deafening air filter. Everybody's wearing a mask and required to wear a mask. I'm requiring the customers to wear a mask. I have people staying home if they know someone that is elderly or immunodeficient and paying them. Like, I'm taking this as seriously as possible. And then when I bring this up, people will say, we'll try to make it sound like I'm the same as the people that are saying everybody should go out. I shouldn't have to wear a mask. Wearing a mask is like fake virus pandemic. And that's kind of what pisses me off. But it is a virus. It is a virus, and it does kill people. I mean, like, I know someone who got it. Seems like, Eugene contracted corona, and it seems to have affected him badly. Sorry, I was just shedding a tear over there. But the point is, it's a real virus. I'm taking it seriously, but it's hard for me to take your response to it seriously when you're not open with the public. Just like moving, you said you wouldn't pick a date to move. You would move when you found a place, not push to find a date by a certain date. Yes, but I had a place to use. Here, you're saying, imagine if I didn't have a place at all. That's not a working analogy. I said I would find a place when I have the luxury of waiting until I have the perfect space, because I have a space right now that 12 people are working out of that's working just fine for all of them. Now, if someone comes in and kicks us all out on the street, aren't we going to be in a bit more of a hurry to get a space? The problem to that, says the additionalist, the data says, well, that's a big part of the problem, indeed. Michigan appears like a mess as well. So there's unemployment where, let's say you're laid off, you're able to get certain unemployment benefits, but if you quit a job of your own volition in a certain period of time, there are people that are saying that they're not able to apply for the unemployment. So if I work for you and you're a cunt, and I decide, fuck you, I quit, I'm going to go work somewhere else, and then I work somewhere else and I get along with my boss very well and I make him money and I do a good job and he likes my work, but he lays me off because the governor said everybody has to close, now I can't collect unemployment. That's an interesting one. I worry for my 72-year-old mother who has respiratory issues. I worry for the old too. I think that there should be put in place some sort of system whereby if you are immunodeficient, that there is some sort of program set aside for you so that you don't have that economic necessity to leave the house and risk dying during this time if you're afraid. Like, come up with something like that. Because like the way I'm doing business right now, everybody here is in that category where their mortality rate that is at the store is like 0.0000 whatever. Nobody here has bad health, underlying health issues, and we're all in our 20s, some of us in our 30s. Paul's a grandpa. He just turned 40. But even Paul. And I ride a bike here, and then I ride a bike home. I don't see anybody in between. I'm not next to anybody on that way home. And at home, I live with my girlfriend who is 31. So if you are elderly, or you are immunocompromised, and you're at your home, there's not really much way, even if I was carrying this virus, that I have a means of spreading it to you. Because I'm not coming into contact with you. I'm not next to you. I'm not near you. Now, something could be said for forcing people to go out or not having the resources available that would allow people who are elderly or immunocompromised to stay in their home at this time. I also hear that by going out, I could be spreading things even if the person's staying home. But if that person is staying home, and they are relying on food delivery and they're relying on other types of delivery in order to get everything because they can't go to the grocery store, at some point there is the risk of infection just by the person who's actually doing the delivery. The biggest worry for his employees is getting run over by a truck. Yeah, but I mean, if someone is immunocompromised or elderly, and I literally ride in a little straight line from my apartment to here, and I don't stop anywhere else, and then I run into this office, I don't see how I am risking infecting any older or immunocompromised people if they are staying home. Really, because like, for example, my landlord is in his 70s. My landlord is at risk. My landlord is also up there. He is staying at home. He told me that he is staying self-quarantined at home, not going anywhere. Even if I have corona and I start coughing and going, the virus doesn't travel through drywall. So me coming to work does not affect him because as much as I cough, even if I wasn't wearing this mask, it doesn't go through drywall. It doesn't go through brick. It doesn't go through shingle. So if you stay at home, you'll be good. Now, the point of the lockdown was don't overwhelm the healthcare system, flatten the curve, figure out what the fuck's going on. We've had 2 months, man. If we haven't figured out what's going on by now, then whatever. Curve has been flattened. The comfort has sailed away. The Javits Center is not filled with people. By the way, it should have been filled with people that had that were elderly rather than shoving them back in nursing homes. But my governor's a stupid cunt, so he didn't do that. But anyway, the Javits Center is not overrun. The comfort has sailed away. That ship that was that nice hospital ship that was brought up here sailed away. Hospitals are gaining their capacity back, which then begs the question. So of all the original goals, all of those original goals have been met. Yet we're still in a lockdown. Now, if you had expressed different goals, if you said we're waiting to this date for this data, then people wouldn't be getting antsy. But the reason in New York City that when you go to a park, you see a bunch of people outside without their mask playing basketball, the reason you see them ignoring you is because you didn't state a clear goal. You didn't say that on this date we were going to make this decision based on this data. You just said, we're going to lock down because of this. This finished, and you continued it. Anyway, that's about it for that. People have been infected through ventilation systems. This is New York City. We don't have ventilation here. There's no ventilation up there. There's no vent between me and him. Are you kidding me? You haven't been to a New York City office that costs under $20,000 a month now, have you? But you cough on the postman. No. The postman sometimes earns getting coughed on, but I haven't done that. I haven't done that. David, you're saying that all the states that don't want to open have Democrat governors, but I don't see it as a Democrat issue. It's all of the cities that have... So this is kind of like the 5G tower thing, where people will say that 5G towers cause COVID because all the places with lots of 5G towers are the places that have a lot of COVID. 5G towers are economically viable in areas with high population density. Also, all the places with high population density are Democrat-run. So it's more the cultural issue it's not, how do I put this? It's the cultural aspect that in America, places with high population density tend to be more liberal. It's not that it's purely Democrats that are deciding to reopen. If you have a lower population density, you're going to have a lower rate of transmission, less spread, less to worry about. Therefore, you can reopen sooner. If you live in a densely populated city, it is very likely that your mayor or your governor is a Democrat because that's just the way it is. So if you have more population density, you need to take the disease or the virus more seriously than you would in, let's say, Custer, South Dakota. I'm not saying that Custer is not a great place, but when you look at the population density in, let's say, Custer, South Dakota or someplace in Wyoming, the reason that they're not being as strict with lockdowns, it's not Republican versus Democrat, it's one person every mile versus one person every foot kind of thing. Someone's going to edit that, and they're just going to take out one bit that says 5G causes COVID, and I'm going to... I wouldn't put it past the world. Anyway. And for me, the stakes are different because I still have a business, Emperor Cuomo declared that technical support is essential. So I'm still here. I'm still open. I'm still taking in business. Whether or not they get rid of the stay-at-home order, I'm still going to leave the people that are immunocompromised or living with the elderly home for a while. So it doesn't affect me that much. It affects other people. Because Elon's in a different position than I am. If Elon's not able to open his factory, that's different. He's genuinely losing fuck tons of money. Whereas for me, it's just, minor drop in business. If people are home all the time. If they're home all the time, that's an additional 8 hours a day that they have to fuck up their MacBook. So, now you may say, well, people are not going to have money to get repairs if they don't have jobs. But it's going to be people don't have money to buy a new one, therefore they have to fix the old one. For me, economically speaking, I don't really, it's not affecting me in the same way that it's affecting others. I would probably be much more biased. I would imagine I'd be more biased towards wanting to reopen sooner if I actually couldn't work. But this is my opinion as someone who can work. And I'm mentioning this because I remember saying, or at least regarding the vegetarian thing a while back, that I never thought about the morality of it until I realized that a vegan burrito, I could eat a vegan burrito and it wasn't shit. Back when I thought it was shit, it changed my thought process on it, or it changed what my opinion was. And it was entirely changed once I realized, once you removed the pain point from it. And here, I don't have the pain point of not being able to open. My business is open. And I still believe that having a lockdown in place without any clear-cut goals, any clear-cut deadlines for making decisions based on data is just not good policy. Are we really arguing in chat whether 5G caused... Oh my god. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Give me the illusion that I don't... At least let me believe in my illusions that I don't have a single fan that thinks 5G causes COVID. Even if you do, even if you believe it, can you just do me a favor? Like, just in exchange for all the educational free stuff that you can learn on this channel, do me one favor and just pretend that you don't believe that 5G causes COVID. Just, can you do it for me? Can you do it as a favor? Kind of like if your teenage daughter bangs everybody on the football team 5 times a week, but like when she goes home, she has the decency to at least pretend for her dad that she's still that she's not a slut. When the kid goes out and he joyrides motorcycles at the age of 15 and breaks in all these cars and steals them and sells them on the black market, but then comes home and just pretends for his parents that he's that innocent kid that used to play Final Fantasy IX. Can you pretend for me that you're intelligent enough that you don't think 5G causes COVID? Let me say with a straight face that I have an intelligent audience. People think 5G spreads corona because their brains are already fried from 4G. That's actually the best argument I've heard so far for cell phone radiation, cell phones causing this. So, that's actually a really good argument. So it was 4G, not 5G. 5G causes COVID-19. How? 5G gives more internet speed, which helps spreading misinformation about COVID-19. Okay, that's a good one. I like that. You know what? You're starting to get me to believe it too now.